This story begins in 18th century Australia. We see a boy calming down a small crying child. Suddenly someone calls him, and he leaves. Now a woman standing at a distance, who was watching all this, steps forward and picks up the child in her arms. The child gradually quiets down, and the woman then removes a necklace from her neck and puts it around the child's neck. She then takes the child over a waterfall. Suddenly something happened to her. Without any reason, she throws the child down the waterfall, which was quite shocking. After doing this, she went straight to the church. Confessing her sin, she says that she has made a huge mistake. Soon after, news comes that the woman has been punished for her deed, which was death, and that too very cruelly. We see her body in the forest, tied to a chair and her head imprisoned in a cage. Then a stranger comes there, who cuts off the woman's finger and keeps it in a cloth. After this, we see the main character of the story, whose name was Agnes. Agnes was a poor farmer who lived with her brother and mom. She was 17 years old. Today is her wedding, which is why she seemed happy. Now Agnes, her brother and her mom are placing their belongings in a freight train to go to another village. All this was happening for her would-be husband. When they reached his house, they found out that the wedding preparations were in full swing. The man Agnes was marrying was named Wolf. The villagers happily lift Agnes up on their hands, which makes her very happy. Now Wolf's mom makes Agnes wear an apron, after which a doll resembling a baby is handed to her, which makes Agnes and everyone else appear quite happy. Actually, this was an attempt to explain to her that after marriage, she should become a good wife, be able to handle all the household work, and she would also get another responsibility, that of her child when she becomes a mother. Well, they get married, and while people are celebrating, dancing, and singing, Wolf tells Agnes to come with him as he wants to show her something special. He wants to surprise her, so he blindfolds her and brings her to a new house. Seeing this, Agnes says in surprise, "I thought I would live with your mother." Wolf explains that the old house will go to his brother, so he used his savings and took out some loans to buy this house. Agnes becomes quite worried after hearing this. She immediately asked, "You took loans, but why? And how will you repay this debt now?" Wolf replies with a smile, "Don't worry, this is my work, everything will be fine." Meanwhile, it had turned from morning to evening. The villagers are still dancing. Due to drinking a lot of alcohol, they are also very drunk. Agnes sees that Wolf is also completely drunk and talking to his friend. After a while, Agnes's family also decides to return home. Her brother gives Agnes a gift wrapped in cloth. As she unwraps it, it's the severed finger of the woman who was sentenced to death in front of everyone. Her brother says that this is like a key to luck for you. You will live well with your husband, and very soon you will also get the good news of becoming a mother. Hearing this, Agnes becomes very happy, and the brother and sister embrace each other. They said that they would miss each other a lot. Then when Agnes came to her new home, she kissed that same finger and placed it under her bed, as if this would improve her luck. After doing this, she began to pray to God to make her a good wife and to bless her with children soon. After some time, Wolf comes home drunk. Agnes, like a good wife, thinks of spending some quality time with him, but instead, he scolds her and tells her to sleep quietly, and he falls asleep himself. The next morning, when Agnes woke up, she saw that Wolf was not in bed. She searches for him throughout the house and the stable, but he is nowhere to be found. Now Agnes gets ready and goes into the forest. After wandering there for quite a while, she sees strange markings on a piece of paper attached to a tree. These were from the same woman who had thrown the child from the waterfall and now had died. Seeing this, Agnes feels quite bad. As she moves forward, she also sees the woman's body, still tied to a chair with her head severed and placed to the side. Now in the afternoon, Agnes and Wolf's mom are distributing bread to the workers. Everyone was being given only one. One man asks for 2 pieces, saying that he is very hungry. Agnes feels sorry for him and gives him 2 pieces of bread. But seeing this, Wolf's mother takes back 1 piece of bread and tells him to get lost. Be content and grateful with what you've been given and eat that. Seeing this, Agnes was quite surprised and also felt bad. Wolf had been showing Agnes the way home through the pond. He also tells her to dress modestly from now on. After coming home, Agnes gets involved in the rest of the work. Then in the evening, she kisses the severed finger again and places it under the bed again, with the hope that her husband will treat her with love and they will have a child soon. But tonight too, he distances himself from her. This breaks Agnes's heart, and she goes outside into the darkness and starts crying. The next morning, Agnes goes to church and looks at the statue of baby Jesus, praying to God for a child. Agnes and Wolf's mom go to the pond to wash clothes. Then a woman comes there who is going to be a mother. This woman was also a worker at Wolf's house. She quickly mingles with Agnes. Then both go to the forest to relax, but they fall asleep there. When Agnes opened her eyes, she realized that she had been sleeping for a long time. The woman had also left from there. That's why Agnes quickly gets up and starts walking towards the house. When she arrived, she saw that Wolf's mom was cooking. She asks if she can help. Wolf's mom angrily refuses and asks where she had been all this time. Agnes replies she went to church. On this, Wolf's mom sarcastically tells her that no matter how much you pray, God never supports a woman who doesn't take care of her husband and doesn't cook for him on time. Wolf's mom also says that the plant you've kept is very bad dirty. The whole house looks dirty because of it. Therefore, it would be better to throw it away. Now, Agnes felt quite bad because of their behavior. She asks Wolf if his mom will come every day. He replied, I don't know. Agnes then asks if she hates her. To this, Wolf explains that it's not like that. My mom is just a bit strict and anger is in our blood. Anyway, tonight too Wolf goes to sleep without talking to Agnes, which makes her quite sad. She wonders what she should do to make her husband interested in her. She goes to an old room built behind the house where she had made her shrine, meaning a place of worship. She prays to God. Then a butterfly came and sat on her cut. Agnes sees it as a ray of hope for herself and becomes happy. Then the next morning, she wakes up early and goes to the pond to catch fish before everyone arrives. But unfortunately, she doesn't catch a single fish. Instead, she gets stuck in the mud and cannot get out. Just then, Wolf goes there with his workers and becomes worried seeing Agnes like that. He says you shouldn't have come here because the mud is very dangerous. Many people have drowned and died here. To this, Agnes says she was just trying to make up for the mistake of not cooking yesterday. Wolf immediately pulls her out so that the fish don't get scared and run away. At night, someone knocks on Wolf's door and informs him that something very bad has happened to his friend. So he immediately sets out to see. Meanwhile, Agnes hears a woman screams from the neighborhood, which makes her tremble. She takes a light and goes to check the neighbor's house to see what happened. When she got there, she saw a crowd of men gathered outside Wolf's friend's house because Wolf's friend had taken her own life by hanging herself. The men came to take his body and his mom was crying and pleading with them not to take him away. But no one listens to her. They put his body on a carriage and take it away. Seeing all this, Agnes became very scared. She returns home in a frightened state. She started praying that she always stays protected from all evil. The next day, the father came there. He says that Wolf's friend's body should not be buried because taking one's own life is a very big sin. Initially, the woman who threw the child from the waterfall, it was her own child. But she confessed her sin, so she was almost forgiven. Forgiven in a sense, yet she was given a painful death. But since she confessed her sin, her soul will go to heaven. And Wolf's friend committed such a big sin by taking his own life that his soul is lost and will definitely go to hell. After coming out of the church, Agnes sees that Wolf's friend's body has been thrown into the garbage with the other sinners' bodies to rot. The next day, when Agnes was working in the fields, she faced a female issue which made her helplessly cry because she had prayed to become a mother. She had been praying for it. In the afternoon, when Agnes was distributing bread, her pregnant friend asked for one more. Please, because she was eating for 2 lives, herself and her unborn child. But since Wolf's mother was present there, Agnes had to refuse. Her mother-in-law further troubles her by saying not to worry about her eating. She should be grateful that she has been employed here. Hearing this, Agnes feels very bad. She was extremely angry. That's why on her way back home, she injures herself with thorny plants. Even then, when her mind wasn't satisfied, she further hurt herself by scraping her tongue with a thorny twig, which caused her to bleed profusely. And this scene was quite heart-wrenching. After doing this, she lays down next to the headless woman's body placed there and rests for a while. At night, when Agnes didn't arrive home, Wolf's mom complains to him, saying, "Look, your wife still hasn't come home. I am very concerned about that girl. She neither comes home on time, nor cooks properly, nor does any work properly. Neither does she take care of you, nor is she having a child." Hearing this, Wolf says, "Mom, now calm down and give Agnes a little more time. She will manage everything." His mom says, "You have also made a mistake. You should have married a girl from this village who does all these tasks and bears your children." Now, they were unaware that Agnes was standing outside listening to all their conversations. She starts crying sadly. In her heart, she thinks how she can tell Wolf's mom that it's not her fault for not having a child, but her son's. Well, instead of returning home, she goes to the headless woman's body. To lighten her mood, she sings to it throughout the night. The next morning, instead of going to Wolf's house, she goes to her old mother's house. where she sees through the window her mom and brother sitting comfortably having breakfast. After a while, her brother came to this table where he saw Agnes sleeping. Her mother also came. Agnes tells them that she can't stay at her husband's house. I'm scared there. To this, her mom said, Dear, that's your home and I can't keep you with me either. Yes. But whenever you face any trouble or feel upset, I will come to see you immediately. That's why she sits down near the house, feeling dejected. In the afternoon, Wolf comes here. He tells Agnes to get up and come home with him. But when Agnes refused, he forcibly takes her to his house with the help of her brother. Agnes refuses to do any household chores. Seeing her condition, it seemed like she was broken from inside. She either sleeps all day or keeps praying. Her mother-in-law, quite angry, tells her to stop the drama and get well. But Agnes, who no longer seemed to have any hope of living, didn't respond. Wolf's mother started changing her clothes to take her to the doctor. In anger, she snatches the clothes and puts them on herself. After getting the checkup, she starts heading home alone. Once, she meets an unknown little child on the way, and she feels very happy seeing him. She immediately picks him up. After a long time, he returns. Seeing Agnes's condition, he thinks she should be taken to the doctor again. But Agnes tells him it's not necessary because her time has come. Just call the father or priest so I can confess my sins. Hearing this, Wolf became very worried and immediately rushed out. After a while, he came back. He tells Agnes that the father is not home, and they will only be able to meet tomorrow. Agnes became very worried that she might die without confessing her sins, and her soul would go to hell. She admits the truth that yes, she consumed rat poison. Hearing this, Wolf gets very nervous and forces her to vomit. Fortunately, the poison comes out of her system just in time. After some time, Wolf's mother comes there. She saw that Agnes was alive but had become very weak. So she helps Agnes get dressed, and Wolf carries her to her mother's house. He tells Agnes's mother that she has taken rat poison and says he believes she is under some evil influence. I think it's important for her to stay here, peacefully at her mother's house, rather than being forced to stay at my home. After that, he says goodbye to his wife and leaves. The next morning, we see that Agnes is better and is cleaning her room. Then, after getting ready, she says goodbye to her family and leaves the house. She reached the forest where she saw a group of children playing. She asks a child, Can you tell me about the shrine here? I'll give you money. The child agrees, and when they both reach the shrine, Agnes tells him to pray with her. The child agrees, and they both enter the shrine and start praying. But suddenly, Agnes stabs the boy in the neck with a knife, causing him to fall down injured. Agnes holds him. The child begs, Please don't kill me. But she stabs him multiple times, taking his life. Then looking at his body, she says, Now you won't commit any sins. You were a child, so in God's eyes, you became an angel. Then she went to the church. She talks about meeting the father the next day. At night, she cuts her hair and the next day, begins confessing all her sins to the father, starting with how she couldn't make her husband happy. Then I thought ill of my mother-in-law. I couldn't even take care of the animals in the stable, and caused trouble for these people by not doing anything properly. She goes on to say that she tried very hard to be a good wife but failed, and that's why she consumed rat poison, thinking no one could help her. Besides these, I committed another grave sin. I killed a child. I did it thinking perhaps the child wouldn't commit sins and my soul would find peace. Agnes was crying while recounting all this, and now she pleads with God, praying not to send her to hell. I'm asking for forgiveness, so please accept it. After hearing her full confession, the father decides to absolve her sins. He told Agnes that God has forgiven her. Hearing this brings great relief to Agnes. She starts laughing and crying at the same time, as if a huge burden has been lifted from her heart. Then the next day, people put up pictures of her sins on trees, as they used to do before. Agnes is then paraded around the village wearing animal skins on a cart. Then they bring her to the place where she is to be executed. He is seated on a chair and a mask is placed on his face. Among these people was Wolf, who seemed quite sad and was crying. Agnes begins to sing a slow, soothing song as she accepts this, after which her head is cut off. Now, the mood of the people standing there suddenly changed. They all start to become happy. Then, the blood flowing from Agnes's neck is collected in a bucket, and people start paying money to fill their cups and glasses so they can drink it, because they believe that she had confessed her sins.
की जिंदगी में खुशहाली लाएगा और अच्छी किस्मत देगा। अब गांव वाले खुशी से झूम उठे, नाचने लगते हैं, जबकि एग्नेस का सर एक पेड़ पर लटका दिया जाता है और एग्नेस की कहानी के खात्मे के साथ ही ये फिल्म भी इधर ही खत्म हो जाती है।